Everyone, how you doing? This is my guide to my 3 different camera setups that I've been using during lockdown. This is my office, this is where I work every day. This little station here is where I edit my videos. Yeah, I converted to a standing desk halfway through lockdown. I think it was boredom really. Anyway, to give you an idea of why I use these 3 different rigs and how I use them, I need to take you on a little journey. So down here is the corridor where I work. At my work, we had a residential Bible college, but obviously during COVID, no one's been able to come and stay here. So I've taken over these 3 rooms at the end, and the children's work at our church is called J24/7. Right, so our studios are called 2, 4 and 7, rather predictably. Let's take in a look at Studio 4 first, because this is the smallest and simplest of all the camera rigs that we use. So this is our filming space. This is the biggest studio space that we have. It's just a bedroom. So basically where the bedroom sleeping accommodation was, that's why I needed to tell you about that. I'd taken all the furniture out and moved in. So I've been using these bedrooms as sets. And here we go, let's have a little look. So filming setup number 1 is super basic. It is a £20 ring light off of Amazon. I've got a little power thing here for it, you can turn it off, and a phone just clamped in the middle there. You can turn this on, you can adjust the colour temperature, and you can make it go up or down depending on how bright you want the light to be. This is the simplest way to get started with video work for your puppetry. Why? Well, this phone is actually just charging right now because stupidly I left it in my bag over the weekend and totally forgot about it, so I can't show you. But obviously, like any smartphone, it's got a front-facing camera and then this screen, which to you and I as puppeteers becomes the monitor. So the simplest rig that you can have is to use the phone that you already have, stick it in one of these little ring lights. This was, as I say, £20 on Amazon. You don't even need that, but front-facing camera, use the screen itself as your monitor, and Bob's your uncle, you're away, you're filming your puppets. Now, this may sound like, Dave, we all know that, it's a bit obvious, but what if I told you that I have a friend who works for the BBC doing one of their main characters as a puppet, and during lockdown he was in his garage at home filming on his own green screen set there, and sort of soft set, he's got a variation of backgrounds he can use, and he filmed everything during lockdown from home on his, you guessed it, on his iPhone. So you may think it's an obvious suggestion, but don't knock it. Even the BBC, even CBBC during lockdown had their presenters working from home on phones. So there you go. Studio 2 is our green screen set. Now this one required a little bit more work. As you can see here, if I come in, this is a smaller bedroom, but I've got up a little stud-work frame around here, and I've got a curved piece of hardboard there, and the sharp-eyed amongst you will notice that there's actually 2 green screens here. The curved board is good enough if I just want to stand in front of it as me as a presenter to do green screen work. When I do puppets, I tend to use the cloth because it goes in the other direction. It can be long, and I'll show you for why. If I just turn my camera on. What I've done here is I've put a green screen cloth cut off, literally just an offcut from this, underneath my puppet. This is Twinkle, the star, and so Twinkle, as he comes into shot, I can just then edit out my arm, because my arm completely disappears because the backdrops are identical. So that's why I've used the cloth and not just the board. But here is my setup number 2, and it is a little GoPro. It's a GoPro Hero 7 Black with a little little tiny 7-inch TV monitor. But this is actually an in-car entertainment system TV monitor. So this just has on this side here a mini USB and a HDMI input. Power goes in the other side, which is run off of the little plug here, but you can run it off USB as well. And I've reverse scanned the monitor, so if you notice, it actually works. Oh, you can't see it, can you? There you go. It works. It's reversed. That means that when I move right, it moves right on screen as well, because obviously naturally it would move in the wrong direction. Your phone reverse scans naturally, so if you have writing on your t-shirt, it will appear backwards, right? That's how you know you're working on a reverse scan monitor. And I've flipped the display on this. This is brilliant. This little GoPro, I just take an HDMI out the side here into here as a monitor, record on there. I can record audio separate if I want, but to be honest with you, the way I've got this set up, it works great just recording straight into the GoPro itself. The audio is fine. What makes the real difference in here? Obviously, it's the lights. For 50 quid off eBay, 3 different soft boxes, all brand new, set up like this. So I've got complete coverage from above and the 2 sides. That keeps my green screen nice and flat and level, so that this setup can work. Most cameras, even the best cameras, will be completely undermined by bad lighting. So it's worth sometimes just maybe even spending less on your camera to give you a bit of budget for your lights. The 50 quid I spent on these lights here was probably the best 50 quid I spent in the whole of lockdown. Swiftly followed by the £50 I spent, or £36 I spent on this monitor. This was an absolute game changer, because obviously the GoPro's brilliant recording quality, but terrible if you can't see yourself. And you notice I've got this monitor set up down here so that when I'm kneeling, it's at eye height for me. I can adjust here on the bracket where I want the monitor to sit. So when I do live presenting as a human person, as me, I mount the monitor on this bracket here. And when I'm doing puppetry, I just shuffle the TV down onto this bracket here. So it's adjustable, so when I'm presenting as a person, I'm looking at the camera and the monitor's just above it. And when I'm presenting as a puppet, the camera's up there, and because the camera's up there and I'm down here, the monitor comes down here, so that's easy for me to see. So that's setup number 2. I love this setup. Setup number 3 is in the last studio room here, 7, and again you will spy, the observant ones amongst you, another 3 soft boxes here. And in here we've got a, what is this camera? This is a Canon 60D, and this is by far the most expensive camera. So what if we're calling our phones free, basically, right, because we already have them. Our GoPro, I think I just bought it in lockdown for like £200, and then this the church already owns, but a few years ago was like £600. So this is the most expensive version of our things. This is good because it has a flip out screen here. The obvious winner in this is the lens. This lens is fantastic. It gives you really good depth of field. It makes the sets look great. Again, I'm just in a bedroom here. I'll just boost the lighting a little bit. I'm just in a bedroom, and I've done exactly the same as what I've done over the way. I've built a stud wall frame here so that I can put a backdrop on it. This one's backdrop is this tongue and groove board. Tongue and groove board, I just painted the different slats, different colours to give it a bit of a texture so it pops a little bit more. Dressed it like a bit of a room, like we might want to be in. Biggest drawback of using an actual camera, while I work on my own, We've been doing this all the way through lockdown. I've not had any help in filming anything that I've done, and I've put on I've put on a video a week all the way through lockdown. I rarely use this camera because why? Well, you have to focus it. I don't know, it sounds silly. I do use it, but I rarely use it because the reason why Patterson, this monster here, is on this stand is so I can run over here, come back, adjust the focus, make sure I'm happy with it, then run in front, move Patterson out of the way. I stand on the mark on the floor, then I know I'm standing where he was, and then I can see myself over there in the camera and I can talk to the camera. It works brilliantly. The quality is fantastic. But if I'm honest with you, unless you have a friend to help you, a camera person or something like that, the bigger cameras, they're seductive because the quality of what they do is fantastic, but it's much harder on your own. The fixed focus of the GoPro and the little attachment monitor, all in 250 quid for the GoPro and the monitor, and I paid £16 for the little attachment, the housing that it sits in, which enables me to clamp the monitor on top. Much better. I'd rather spend £250 on that than £600 on this, being completely honest with you. The other thing that's going to really change the game on any of your camera setups, I use the audio out of the phone, no problem, right? I use the audio coming out of the GoPro. That's actually better than the audio that comes out of this. But for 20 quid, a little tie clip mic, and then a Tascam sound recorder here. This is about £80, something like that. But this, I just plug the microphones in the bottom, set the levels, record, and then I've got a second sound recording. So then I match up the two audios, the audio that's native in the camera, whatever audio that is, with the external mic, sync them on the video timeline, and brilliant. Increase your sound quality no end. This gives me the ability to do overdubs. So I have this little corner set up here. I sit in here, bring the microphone in, got the little sound booth here, and I just do overdubs. So if I need to go back in, re-record a vocal for something, or perhaps do a narration or something like that, I'll come in and sit in here. Again, microphone, sound recorder, Bob's your uncle. That's a really quick overview of the 3 camera setups, but with some extra little bits of nonsense thrown in as well. I'm sure we'll probably do questions again when we go back to the Zoom call. Anyway, enough. Thank you. See you in a bit. Bye.